How we doing, everyone? Hope we're having fun. I hope we're staying warm. I hope we don't have too much crazy plans this weekend with another winter storm. And no, I didn't think I was going to make that rhyme. Before we begin and start going over some nuggets and questions, some admin with regards to our next class. Yes, we are going to meet in person on February 18th. We're going to go the full amount of time, probably between 8:30 and 9 we're going to wrap up. A normal MBA kind of a class, 8:40 I believe, 8:30. We'll be done by 8:30. We will be doing the first set of branding and experience articles. You guys all have your topic talk particular bases. What I wanted to tell you, I did get a question. You do not need to prepare a PowerPoint or anything. You're not going to stand up in front of class with your topic talks. You're just going to sit at your seat. You're going to talk about the article, and you're going to talk about how it relates to one of the articles. You're going to talk about the article that you found about social networking, for instance, and how it relates to one of the 4 or 5 articles that we've read that semester. I know some people have done this in the past. I will not let you read. You cannot have your one-page document and read it out loud. I'm not going to let you do it. I'll stop. I'll go to someone else. You'll have some time to think about it. And the idea is for you to be able to talk about it out loud just like you're having a conversation with your roommate or something. No PowerPoint. You don't have to get in front of class. You're going to stay in front of your seats. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, you know how you've been doing this for each week with your team? Reading the articles on your own and getting everything together. You don't have to do that next week. There's no reason to do it because I'm not going to record a video because you're going to see me live. What I normally do in the video and what we normally accomplish through the video, we're going to do it live. So next week, all you have to do is show up with your topic talk and the articles read. We're good. Okay? If you have any questions about that, shoot me an email. So let's get straight to the questions here. I hope we saw a theme from these particular 6 articles. There's a number of really, really good nuggets here. But I told you in last week's video that I really would like to start the course with CRM, but I kind of need to do the market orientation, satisfaction, loyalty module before getting to this because it makes more sense. You've heard me multiple times talk about how much I'm a proponent of CRM and CLV and relationships and, this is what good marketers do. I'm still firmly in the camp of CRM. But it would be crazy for us to talk about CRM without talking about the dark side of CRM, the negative to CRM. And some of the negative is this relationship side and the firm's not getting it. Some of it is privacy, some of it is ethics, and all over the place in these articles. We start off with preventing the premature death of relationship marketing. This is Susan Fournier. Susan is someone that I know pretty well. She rocks. As you know, her articles, she starts this week, she ends this week. Susan is a branding expert that does a lot with relationship marketing. So it's not a coincidence that she keeps showing up in the CRM modules. And I wonder if I have any branding articles from her. I think I do. There's another Susan article coming up at some point this semester. So let me see if I can be helpful with some questions. People maintain hundreds of one-to-one relationships in their lives. Only a handful of them are close and committed. Has social media helped companies maintain a consistent dialogue with customers and stay relevant in their lives? Without question, that social media from not only the technological standpoint has helped, but from the socio-cultural standpoint. Because prior to the birth of Web 2.0 in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we are now more culturally accepted to having relationships with companies. we are more culturally accepted about us being proactive with other individuals. And now that we have platforms to do it, for instance, Pinterest, it's easier for Pinterest or companies using the Pinterest platform to have these types of relationships. I'm going to talk more about that in the second article. We'll get to that. Is there anything you can do to stop your company from selling your information? If it's part of the user agreement of that company, then no. I know those user agreements are in really small, not readable kinds of language. But no. You have to find services like American Express is one of the companies that doesn't sell your information. It's more expensive to use their credit cards, but if you're really concerned about them selling your information, if you're really concerned about it, you can't use Facebook. If you're really concerned about people selling your information, you got to use DuckDuckGo, and you can't use Google or Bing for that matter. You just can't do it. Well, getting out and talking to the people would go a long way towards truly understanding consumer behaviors. Is there a way to implement this strategy in a cost-effective way? Yeah, without question. It's called social media. I believe we need a reason to use social media. And I believe one of the best reasons for any company to use social media is for CRM purposes. There isn't, in my opinion, there isn't a better reason to use social media than for CRM. If the consumer self-selects and elects to have a relationship with you, meaning they liked you, they friended you, they tweeted at you, they've decided to follow you on Twitter, then guess what? That is the best way. That is the best way, in my opinion. Now, in this article, the last article, they talked about social media listening platforms. And it is one of our topic talk things for the second half of the semester. There is software out there that has the raw feed for Facebook. It's called the API, the Automatic Programming Language. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. And for all intents and purposes, it has the raw feed. It's called the fire hose of data. And you can put in a number of terms, your brands, your competitors, certain keywords, certain phrases, and the information just will come to you. It will come to you. And you can listen to the entire social web. And this may sound hard, but it's not hard. You might only have 5, 6, 7, 8 keyword terms that you really care about. You wondering how, if someone's on Facebook, take this from a government perspective, and they're feeling a little crazy and they start talking about, bombing, and I'm going to kill cops, I'm going to... Well, those phrases, I'm sure the New York City Police Department have as keywords in their social media listening platform that they're using. Could be Radiant 6, it could be Trax, could be Spread Fast, it could be Sprout Social. It's probably Radiant 6. They'll start tracking people that are making these kinds of phrases. Question. In most of the industries, there are so many customization options available to consumers. It makes things really tough for relationship marketing. Would you agree? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. One of my primary research interests, and if you remind me, I'll talk about it next week, because I'm presenting a paper in Panama during spring break, is the paradox of choice. And in the first article, she actually gets into this. If there's too many choices, people will cognitively shut down and they won't make a decision. If consumers don't make a decision or they drag their feet, then it's that much harder for them to develop a relationship with you. If there's too much to think about, they'll cognitively shut down. What is a truly rewarding partnership? Let me do something real quick. All right. can't find the server. Oh, it's because I spelled it wrong. It's pretty embarrassing when you can't spell your own blog right. Alrighty. I think this is the key expression that you guys should learn. WIIFM, what's in it for me? And I think that's the dividing line when it comes to CRM between good CRM and bad CRM. Because, and we saw this in all these articles today, if you're not giving people value and really all the gains from the relationship are for the company, then guess what? It's not a relationship that I would want to be in. There needs to be a very good balance between benefits to the consumer and benefits for the company or the brand that's doing the CRM. And I like to think of that dividing line as this WIIFM, what's in it for me. If there's nothing in it for me, then I'm not going to maintain a relationship with you. If there's something in it for me, then I will. And most companies only think about the CRM relationship from their perspective. That was all over these articles. All over these articles. What is the relationship between customer satisfaction and product satisfaction? I don't know if there is a relationship between customer satisfaction and product satisfaction. We already know that measuring satisfaction is dubious at best. And even if you measured satisfaction with the product, you're really just measuring if the consumer is satisfied with the product. So, was that actually in one of the articles? I don't remember seeing that. Prior to social media and cheap mass outreach, well said, well put, was it too time consuming and expensive to perform a comprehensive view of consumer behavior? Well, it was time consuming, and that's why we talked about skew a lot last week, where we had that 90-10 and 80-20 rule, 90-10 rule, 95-5 rule, where 95% of your revenue comes from 5% of your customers, and you pay a whole lot of attention to those 5% of your customers because they're responsible for 90% of your revenue. Well, then, of course, you're doing CRM, and regardless of how much time-consuming and how expensive it is, it's 95% of the revenue for the company. So you have no choice. It's what you do. Otherwise, you don't survive. Now we have not only easier ways to collect the data, we have cheaper ways to store the data, and we have better software now to be able to get more out of the data. We're going to talk about, we'll get to this more in the second article. Product satisfaction linked to life satisfaction. Okay, so this is that second thing. Company must attain both of these aspects to win. On the flip side, if someone's not happy with their life, how does the product fix that? Probably a rhetorical question. I don't remember where in the article. I'm not sure where in this article life satisfaction, product satisfaction. I don't know. I'm still hung up with the I'm not a satisfaction guy. I'm a loyalty guy. I'll have to take a look at this to see if I can find this again. But, it could be the case if people develop relationship with their brands, it could be the brand that helps turn them around if they're not happy. Like if you're really bummed out and your buddies say, okay, that's it. We're going down to Atlantic City just to have a blast for the weekend. And you ended up having a blast for the weekend, and then you kind of think that, something? Caesars is my happy place. When I'm at Caesars, I'm happy. Think about Las Vegas ads. What stays in Vegas, what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas, that kind of thing. I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan. You always have to fly to Satan somewhere because, you're always happier in Satan somewhere. All right, let's talk about the second article. Great article. Very, very good article. This accomplished one of my goals, that I wanted you to see some of the negative or downsides to CRM. I mean, I think a good way to talk about this with the WIIFM is, I mean, if we think about CRM in a continuum with good CRM and bad CRM, well, how do we know when we cross the line? Well, if there's not good WIIFM for both sides of the party, then we're out of balance, right? If the consumer doesn't knowingly give up or self-select to give up information to be part of the relationship, that's bad CRM. There's a lot of that out there, particularly in social media. You know, so a lot of you don't know how much Facebook is taking from you, or Google, or in a lot of these other companies. You know, some of that is bad CRM. What I like about this CRM is it really throws down the gauntlet. I mean, this was 2002. This was probably like 4, 5, 6 years into the new management trend of CRM. And a lot of companies were spending lots of money because they think that buying some software is going to fix their customer problem. So if we look on page 102, right above where it says Rigby, we get the definition right here of CRM. And it says, our research suggests that one reason CRM backfires is that most executives simply don't understand what they're implementing, let alone how much it costs or how long it will take. If you find that hard to believe, try asking 5-year managers to define what CRM is. The right answer, or the correct answer, this is at the very bottom and going up to the top of the middle column. CRM aligns business processes with customer strategies to build customer loyalty and increase profits over time. Note, the word technology and software are absent in that definition. This is what I want you to remember. CRM is a philosophy. It is a strategy. It just so happens that you use software to accomplish that strategy. If you do not have the right strategy or you do not have the right philosophy in your firm, no amount of software, no amount of training is going to fix it. Let's talk about this in 2 different ways. The first way is when we talk about market orientation as being the strategy, as being the mindset for a corporation, if you're market oriented, you can easily go towards a CRM type true strategy because you have the external orientation with customers, you have the external orientation with competitors, and you have the strong inter-firm communication. Well, the CRM software will even make collecting and maintaining the relationship with the consumer better, and it will also make the communication amongst the functional silos easier. But firms who are not market oriented and they try to implement the software, oh, it's a disaster. Here's the second way to think about it, and this is the easier way. And please forgive me for what I'm going to say. Every one of you have a friend that's, they really can be an asshole. They're really not good people. That every one of you knows someone. Could be a cousin, could be brother and sister, could be someone you work with, and they're just an asshole. So let's just say one of your coworkers who's an asshole, they also use Facebook or Twitter. Does Facebook make them any less of an asshole? No, they're still an asshole when they're on Facebook. Software cannot fix the fundamental strategy of who they are. CRM cannot fix your company if you're not market-oriented. You need to be market-oriented before you can use CRM. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. And that's what this article is about. And if that is the only takeaway you get out of 2 weeks of readings for CRM, you're light years ahead of about 100% of the people out there. Because no one understands that. CRM is not software. CRM is a strategy. It is a philosophy. It just so happens to use software to make it happen. Let's answer some questions. Oh, by the way, the perils, these are great. Implementing CRM before having a customer strategy. I think we just said that. Rolling out CRM before changing your organization to match it. I think we just said that. Assuming that the more CRM technology, the better. CRM is not about technology. By the way, the chart on 106 is just gold. And stalking, not wooing customers. This goes back to the line of creepiness. Where's the line? If there's no WIIFM and the consumers are giving everything up and there's no relationship there, then you're stalking your customers. This is a great article. I've always loved this article, even though the examples are starting to get old. Is increasing profitability the only reason for a company to implement CRM strategies? No, 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 and no. And I think the next two articles actually get straight to the point of this. What a CRM strategy or loyalty can really do. No, absolutely not. Switching costs seem to be extremely high when implementing large-scale CRM programs. Would it be better for companies to start small and incrementally add to their platforms? It would be better for companies to start small and incrementally add. And now we have scenarios where you put Salesforce on your phone. It's all app-based, and it's really, you can start small, you can start quickly. I mean, this used to be all mainframe technology. This was all, highly networked. The IT department were the only ones that can install the software. Now everyone can download the Salesforce app onto your phone or your iPad. You get an email from work saying, okay, here's your 3 codes that you need to get started. Bip, 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 boo! That's it. It's 10 minutes. It's ridiculous compared to what it used to be. All these CRM programs were all so customizable per firm. It was ugly. It was very ugly. As business grows, should CRM accommodate the changes? Yeah, why not? I'm trying to understand if CRM technology needs to change as business grows. If yes, it would have huge risk and massive IT associated with it. Well, it used to have a huge risk and massive IT associated with it. And when this article was written in 2002, then yes. But these days, storing the data, all the data storage happens in the cloud. These days, the software is so flexible, and almost all the changes happen in the software interface and not the hardware. The hardware is just storage, or the hardware is just the device. But you could smash your iPhone, turn around, get a new iPhone in the next hour, download the Salesforce app, put in your codes, and it's all there again. So this used to be a huge problem. It's not as much anymore. What kind of customer strategy may call for more high-tech approaches? Well, any kind of situation where you're trying to maintain the relationship and having a stream of data from the consumer. I don't think the question should be what kind of customer strategy. It's which industries are now moving in this direction. For all intents and purposes, and we're going to see this 2 or 3 modules down, retailing can't do anything without having a customer strategy and collecting data. Software is heading into the same scenario too, where all these games that we're playing learn. Candy Crush knows what we want and knows what levels we should go to. Those kind of things. But it also could be something very simple, as in a hotel. We're going to see Apple Watch in a week or two. Not a week or two, a couple weeks. And there's going to be a nice, beautiful little app, and instead of carrying cards anymore when you go to hotels, I forgot which hotel chain is going to be the first one, you just walk around and it's just your phone, what's on your wrist. Beep, beep. You can make payments with it, you can open your door with it, you can do anything you want with it. I think it's going to be awesome. Can you give an example of building a relationship with the wrong customer? Well, spending the time and money to collect data on a customer. Think about the last articles. We have this typology. What we called them assassins. Well, actually, in earlier articles, like last week or the week before that, what did we call them? Assassins. We called them terrorists. If you look at the 2x2 on page 74 in the last article, valuing friends and acquaintances, enemies, frenemies, villain-victim relationships, these all sound like, if there's no WIIFM and there's no win-win for both sides of the party, then the relationship's out of whack. I think from a broad perspective, that's the easiest way to think about this. The article points out that installing CRM before creating customer-focused organization is a dangerous decision. Agreed. Generally speaking, there are two types of a company, product-focused and customer-focused. I want to know what are the difference between these two companies. One's market-oriented and one's not. It's very simple. Apple doesn't care. Apple cares about... Apple's not a good example. Let's get another one. Market-oriented firms are learning what customers want, and they're learning what competitors are offering, and then they're creating new offers for the marketplace. Companies that are focused on product is what Microsoft did for 2 decades, where they're trying to force feed a Microsoft-based product down our throat, even though it's not very good. Everything has to be Microsoft something. Microsoft's solution was to offer a certain, let's create a product and, some companies are all about that. It's only product. They push product through the system. They tend to do heavy promo. They tend to do things, the retailers really are the ones that end up with the customer relationships, Product companies are not market-oriented. Customer-focused companies are market-oriented. I want to know the difference between these two companies. Nowadays, why are more and more product-focused companies showing interest to transfer? Because product-focused companies can't survive anymore. Competition is too strong, too fierce, and consumer behavior changes too frequently. If you're not customer-focused, you will lose track of your competitors. You will lose track of customer trends. And look at BlackBerry. When everybody went towards apps and touchscreens, they didn't move in that direction. And where's BlackBerry now? All right. Your loyalty program is betraying you. Love this article. Love it so much that I actually wrote another article about the endowed progress effect. And this article, starting on page 125, what can a loyalty program reasonably do? You have to keep this article in your file drawer at work, because someday in the future, some boss is going to come up to you and say, we need to have a loyalty program for this reason, and then you're going to pull out, loyalty programs can't do that for you. This is what a loyalty program can do for you, and this is what a loyalty program can't do for you. So look at the header starting on page 125. Loyalty programs help you keep customers from defecting. Yep. They get a greater share of purchases from a particular customer. Yep. You can prompt customers to make additional purchases. Yep. You can yield insights into behavior and preferences. Yep. They can turn a profit. Yes. All really good stuff. It also has in the back levels of loyalty. Okay, these are fantastic. And things to avoid. Love this article. Love this article. By the way, if you noticed, this is one of them toolkit articles. Love toolkit articles. The examples of costless rewards in the article could be unknown to the consumer. For example, Citibank's customer service line answers calls based on the amount of assets a customer has. How could a customer realize they're getting preferred treatment? How do companies explicitly advertise these things when signing up new customers? If you go to banks actually have, little pamphlets. I can't believe I had something sitting there. And you open it up, and there's the various different customer classes. If you want free checking, you get these things. If you want you get this. If you have $25,000 in cash assets, you get these particular things, personal. Some of them are pretty explicitly. If you go into LinkedIn and you go into LinkedIn Premium, you'll see a chart. For $25 a month, you get this. For $49 a month, you get this. For $99 a month, you get this. For $249 a month, you get this. You know, and look at memberships when you join a museum. You know, free entrance into the museum, free entrance and free parking, free entrance, free parking, and up to 5 guests, free entrance, free parking, 5 guests, and 10 free movies. What companies today currently employ strong rewards programs? CVS is spectacular. Target is spectacular. Kroger, which is a supermarket chain not in our area, is spectacular. What about that program makes it so successful with consumers? Well, there's lots of benefits for the consumers, and there's lots of benefits for the firm. There's a WIIFM balance, if you want to say that. You know, if there's nothing in it for me, I'm not going to care. But God, the CVS, it just amazes me, based on purchase history, the recommendations that they can make and how spot on they are. Is there a difference between a loyalty program and a rewards program? A loyalty program has more of the CRM insights, database analysis to it. A rewards program is simple stupid. You know, that's really just an accumulation of accounting without much analysis. Buy 10, get 1 free. That's a rewards program. A loyalty program actually does some analysis and looks deeper in the purchase history and makes recommendations based that's really value added. I don't know, this is like low value added, this is high value added. This is very easy to do, this is more challenging to do. How do you forecast the cost benefits analysis of a loyalty program? Well, you can easily look at customer lifetime value. We saw this in an article last week. We have the formula. We can look at purchase history over time. We can look at purchase frequency over time. In this article, I love this concept of the endowed progress effect. And you're trying to tell me that not only did a higher percentage of consumers fulfill all 10 car washes, but they did it in 3 to 4 weeks shorter amount of time? That's a direct impact on the bottom line. That's how you do cost-benefit analysis of a loyalty program. You know, we have these toolkit articles. The author says don't reward disloyalty. However, don't you think rewarding disloyalty might make them loyal when they see the benefits? No, because they're getting the benefits without having to be loyal. The one supermarket around the corner for me, Acme, you know, I don't have a loyalty card there, and all I do every time if I'm buying something, I just say, oh, I left the card in the car. And they're like, okay, I'll give you all the coupons. I'll just pull this out of the drawer and go like this. They're rewarding disloyalty. And they don't learn anything about me in the process. What's the difference between performance incentives and purely utilitarian incentives? Could you list more examples about performance incentives? You know, that's a good question. And I apologize that I don't think I can answer this because I'm not sure what's going on here. You know, if I was going to interpret this, performance incentives is based on what you've done, either purchase history, like number of flights, number of miles, and I don't know what the utilitarian incentive is. I would love for this question to come up again next week and we can talk about it a little bit more, but I'm not sure what's going on there. The article talks about loyalty programs and how to create barriers to exit, harder for customers to switch to new vendors. Would a 2-year contract to Verizon, Fios, or Verizon be considered a loyalty program? No, that's actually forced. That's a forced partnership. You have no choice. I don't know if I would call that a loyalty program. They're using the 2-year contract because they're giving you the phone for only $99 or $199, or they're giving you a service and they're trying to lock you in. And by locking you in, you actually pay more for the phone over the course of 2 years than you would if you bought an unlocked phone and just bought a contract for them. They're subsidizing the cost of that phone over a 2-year period, which is why they lock you in at a certain price. It's not a loyalty program. The article discusses reward programs where some companies like American allow companies to obtain rewards by shopping at other places. Can you briefly explain how this works? Is there some kind of a non-monetary contract between them? I assume the advantage for Target is to get AA customers out the door. Usually what happens is it's American Airlines. We have points. I have points. I have American Airlines points. And I could use them at Target. It's usually one entity allowing you to use, and then there's, an accounting imbalance, and then we use points here, and Target has some kind of an accounts balance back to American. It's really not that hard. There's a number of marketing companies out there that actually will do this for them and run these particular types of programs. My credit card, I used to have an American Airlines card where the only points I could get was American Airlines. Now I have a different Visa card, and I can go to any airline. I can go to 15 million different retailers. It's a points. It's not that bad. It's pretty common these days. All right, here's the big one. The example in the article, which is usually the definition of divisibility rewards, seems unclear. We're on page 128, left column, under the levers of loyalty. The article points out that loyalty programs should be carefully strike a balance between the levels of divisibility, because customers will prefer higher divisible programs, which will offer them many exchange opportunities. However, the manager would prefer a lower divisibility program, which can effectively create lock-in. The article then uses an example to illustrate the idea. $50 reward for every $500 spent engages greater customer loyalty than either a $10 reward for every 100 or a $100 reward for every 1,000 spent. Too little divisibility in respective. The sole basis of the information on the article, the customer prefer highly divisible programs, and how we can explain the phenomenon. $50 reward for every 500 spends engenders greater customer loyalty than $10. $10 program is much easier for the customer to redeem and reward than a 500 program. However, the customer would prefer a 10-100 program more than a 500 program. Why is 10 program to generate more? I can summarize this all down to consumers want their rewards faster, and consumers want a program they understand easier. It is a hell of a lot easier to calculate the math and to get my rewards by doing this than doing this. If you notice, if I spent the cognitive energy, this and this is the same thing. But here, I have to wait too long for the reward. And if it's too far out in the future, it's too abstract, I'm not going to go for it. I mean, this is the illusion of goal progress. This is exactly what they're talking about on page 127. They made the program happen quicker because they gave 2 free things up front. All that does is help people cognitively understand what the program is. This is too far in the future. Yeah, people will eventually reach it or eventually get to it, but more people will strive for this than for this. Does it mean that customers can be more loyal to a program which actually has lower preference? I don't know if it's a lower preference. I don't know if I would say it's a lower preference. The mistakes to avoid. The article points out a loyalty program should avoid the behaviors, which may lead to a price war. Based on Porter's generic strategies, a company may choose from cost leadership, differentiation, and focus market. By the way, we're going to get an article later in the semester, I actually think it's at the end of the semester, on all Porter's strategies and the 5 forces. I can understand a price war would definitely harm margins. Okay? My question is, if a company wants to pursue or sustain cost leadership in an industry, like Walmart, could a price war be an effective weapon to achieve that goal? Well, the price war is only between Walmart and whoever they're having the price war with, such as Target. They couldn't. Here's a great example. I was talking about this the other day. Walmart and Target cleaned Best Buy's clock this holiday season when it came to electronics. Walmart had the leverage to do a cost leadership pricing position. Target had the resources to also follow. Best Buy does not. They don't have as many locations. They don't buy in the same volumes. They spend too much money going deeper into categories. And Best Buy got hammered this holiday season. They did not do well. It was a price war. It was a price war. Could a price war be a cost-effective way to achieve this goal? You know, the consumer ends up benefiting from this because they get a better price. But I don't know if price is the sole thing that's going to keep someone in a CRM type relationship. It's usually the what's in it for me. And price is only one aspect of the what's in it for me. Too many people shop on price and are not loyal at all. And that's a problem. If price is all you got, the number one mistake when a lot of companies went to social media is they made it a price was the only leverage they had. They went to the most loyal customers and they said, okay, we're going to give you a cheaper price because you're following me on social media. Well, I'm already loyal. Why are you giving me an extra discount? You know, it just doesn't make sense. I would have bought anyway. Sure, I'll be happy if you give me an extra discount, but I would have bought anyway. Was that really the smartest thing for that brand manager to do? I'm not so sure. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to divide this video into 2 parts. I know we're already going long, but this is a very important module. I'm going to do the next 3 articles in a separate video. Stay tuned.